Thursday.
Put us together on a packet, and then we can distribute that.
It sounds good.
We'll trade it. Everything on here.
We can use all we can get.
Every day there's something.
Or we'll just do it one time.
No doubt about that.
Special meeting. And so listen, questions are,
I think that very well.
could be. Sir, this will load. We're just trying to get everybody insured.
You're fine. I'm not gonna trip you up. I'm not gonna trip you up.
No, I just don't want to be like in your
You're fine. No, you're fine.
perfect. As long as I'm not bothering you.
No, I don't want to make you uncomfortable. No, I'm saying.
All right, Steve Spade is participating by speakerphone.
We're so friendly.
Yes, he's on the phone, I'm not sure about Shaq and Mark.
How are you guys?
Rock and roll. We're down before the Supervisors, we'll pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Security cameras installed in the meeting room for visual recordings to be used for security purposes only. Members of the public may be recording the meeting. Executive sessions were held on April 2nd, following the board meeting, and on April 11th at 2:30 p.m. for legal matters involving the Metacrest development. Amendments to the agenda. One amendment, we're adding a resolution for sewage facilities program grant in the amount of $47,500 from the Commonwealth Financing Authority to be used for the new Sewickley Crows Run Shed Act 537 plan update. We'll be adding that agenda, I guess.
Chairman, that'll be discussed on number 9B.
Already on 9, okay.
9B.
And there should be a vote to amend the agenda to provide for that resolution.
We'll need a motion for that to amend the agenda.
I move that we move to amend the agenda for item 9B. Entertain a motion if this is acceptable. We'll change the agenda.
I'll second it.
Okay, motion and a second. Questions or comments? Roll call.
Steve, could you, what was the motion? I didn't hear Chris though.
I want to change the agenda to add
Okay, yeah, to add, item 9B.
an item 9B. I wasn't here for the meeting, so.
Okay, yeah, I agree, we can add item 9B.
Okay.
Fritz,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Martin.
Yes. Motion passed. Okay, item number 3. Minutes for April 2nd, 2024, regular meeting. Take action on that.
I move to approve the April 2nd, 2024 meeting minutes as submitted.
Second.
Questions or comments? Roll call.
Steve? Yes. Fritz?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes. Item number 4, bills, general and stormwater funds, April 3rd through May 7th, 2024, to be paid. And check signed following the meeting. We'll take action on that.
I move to approve item 4, which is to approve the bills to be paid from the general and stormwater funds as submitted by the treasurer, and we will sign the checks after the meeting.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Roll call.
Steve? Yes. Fritz?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes. Okay, item number 5 is public comments. Comments limited to 3 minutes per person. Any public comments? Adam?
Patty Gerhardt, 304 Carriage Drive. And first of all, I'd like to thank RJ and Ron and the board for the wonderful roads that are happening right now in Danbury Farms. I cannot tell you how delighted we are with the work is incredible. Your work, the work product, the way they clean up, it's amazing. You're done milling in 2 days. And I wanted to tell you, we have paid for our roads. The Danbury Farms is 88 patio homes and 34 single-family homes. The population is 190 people. In 20 years, I've guesstimated, we have paid to Beaver County in taxes $2,416. To New Sewickley Township, $1,204. And Freedom Area School District, $4,548,000. For a total of $8,168,000. So thank you very much, and we greatly appreciate it.
Thank you, Betty. Okay, anybody else?
Yeah, hey, Patty, I'd like to thank you for being positive. It's nice to hear positive comments on a lot. There weren't too many of them, but I thank you for thanking us and the people involved in this, so thank you.
Thank you for doing the research on that. Nobody takes time to do that, you know?
I wish I could be more accurate, but it was really a guesstimate.
Well, that's a pretty good guess. Anybody else? Larry?
Hi, my name's Larry Huff. I reside at 169 Hoffman Road. When appropriate, I would just like to request an update concerning the efforts towards DMS's mitigation of the noise disturbance. That's all I have.
An update? I think we had an update before.
Yeah, I actually have one tonight, so,
Okay.
I was gonna, well, since we're just talking about it. So we had a meeting with DMS, I think that I spoke about that last week, and they, since then had a meeting with their board of directors and filled them in on the ongoing issue. They were able to consult with the manufacturer for their vacuum system and ordered mufflers for the vacuum system at a cost of approximately $12,000 to DMS, and they should be installed in the next 6 to 8 weeks.
Okay, thank you very much.
Good news.
That is good news. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Yes, Laura Dingle, 425 Pine Road. I'd like to ask the board if I may request the right to comment at the time item 6C comes on to the board's discussion, as well as item 90.
Now's the time for public comment.
I understand that, but you also, under the Sunshine Act, have the right to comment on an item as it stands before the board for action.
So the board can provide for a time for public comment, and this is the designated time for public comment.
Okay then. I see the item 6C to ratify a decision from the executive session. I would first of all like to say thank you. Thank you for making the appropriate notation on the agenda this evening to attempt to remediate your willful violations of the Sunshine Act, as I stated last week at the agenda meeting. Unfortunately, I do not feel as though I have been made whole yet. I have for the past 2.5 years, stood before this board and other boards in the township, asking for you to follow the appropriate procedures and ensure that the residents of New Sewickley Township were treated with your sole priority in mind. I have made every effort to extend insight and openness with this board. I believe this board tonight needs to explicitly state the purpose and objectives in the township's intervention into a landowner appeal of a DEP decision on a privately owned on-lot system by another landowner. I believe this board tonight needs to explicitly state their intentions and directives to the Municipal Authority Board to take action at last night's meeting to engage their engineers into the operations and maintenance costs of the Meadowcrest sewage facility. The residents of New Sewickley Township are to be publicly informed of matters being deliberated privately amongst the Board of Supervisors, Planning Commission, and Municipal Authority Boards, which have taken place at numerous co-joint meetings without a quorum, which actions subsequently appear in executive sessions and on agenda items without any insight or explanation as to the use of township funds for engineering and legal services. This is outright unacceptable. I feel as if you are walking all over your taxpayers and taking advantage of the efforts I have made. This is your last hall pass. Violations will be followed by complaints, and fines will be paid out of your individual pockets on each offense upwards of $1,000 to $2,000. Thank you.
Thanks for that comment. Any other comments?
Al Horn, 32 Page Drive. At the agenda meeting, there was some discussion on invocation at these meetings. And I do see tonight it's only on there as info, but I took it that you might be passing a policy to do that. And I think what you ought to do is table that until there's a policy put together of what to do, what type of prayers you might want to do, and who's going to do them. And my thought would be each supervisor would take a meeting and have a prayer prepared to talk about before the meeting starts. But that's just my thought. I don't know why we're doing it. I don't think it's necessary. I read a lot about the Civil War, where both sides asked God for his well-being to take care of everybody on the battlefield, and we lost 600,000 people. So you look at past situations, it's not good. But I just don't see any need to go into it unless you do have a policy. And I think what you need to do, if you're going to go forward, is to create a group to talk about it and determine how to do it, who to do it, what churches to involve, or all churches be involved. I don't know if they want to do it, but it needs to be a bigger overall discussion of it. So I would hope that you don't pass anything tonight. You talk about creating a policy for the township department.
I don't think we have a resolution prepared for
Not tonight.
just another discussion to talk about it, so thanks for your comments. Any other comments?
Yeah, me. Robert Terry, 123 Roseland. About Meadowcrest. I don't know how you guys could let this happen. I mean, seriously. I talked to all my neighbors often. They just can't believe it. They're sick to the core. 230 units going in, 70 acres. That's crazy. I mean, where was the rules of 1 house, 1 acre? Where'd that go? You guys are getting rope-a-doped by the big boys. They're taking you to school. That's the way I feel. There are going to be people dying on Hoffman anytime. They'll be dying in car crashes. Hoffman, 0.8 miles from end to end. Hoffman to Klein, 0.8. Okay, 17 people live on Hoffman. There's 3 lanes with 12 people on that lane. No one got a letter. No one got notified. It's kind of rude. You know, kind of rude. 0.4 from the project. 0.4. I don't know. Maybe you guys play by different rules. You know. But I guarantee you accommodate them. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And their orders. These aren't land developers. They're land predators. Okay. I think you all ought to just say vote no and resign myself, because you're out of your age. You know, you don't know what's coming. You don't know what's going. That's all I have to say. You know? Yeah, I said it, and I mean it.
For your comments.
Pardon me?
Thank you for your comments.
Charles Velosky, 426 Klein Road. You guys gotta tame this monster down. It's just way too big and out of place for our rural community. It just sucks, plain and simple.
Any further comments?
Karen Velosky, 426 Klein Road. I just had a question about the sewage plant. I think it's under number 9B, if I'm not mistaken. In other meetings, you had talked about the possibility of the township owning the sewage facility plant, and I'm just curious, will existing residents that are on septic systems within, like, say, a designated footage from the facility, will they be required to tap into the sewage, to the public sewage or not?
Talking about this system that's potentially going in?
Correct, yes.
Nobody's required from the community to access it.
Okay.
The community, certain ones would have access if they pay for their own engineering. So there is certain capacity over what is proposed.
But no requirement.
But no requirement.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, further comments? Item number 6, administration, treasurer's report. To be submitted. You guys all got copies of that? And item B, indication before the Township Supervisors meeting, information. This has been going on, maybe discussion. I think Laura actually brought it up to the board's attention. So we kind of looked into it, and several of the board members, none of us disagree with it, so we had our previous solicitor look into it. He did some research, and now our current solicitor's looking into it. So we don't run into any snags or problems, I guess. Anything can be a problem these days. The thought behind it, just so you know, we're talking about the local churches in Sewickley Township would each have an opportunity to come do an invocation. That's the thought pattern. So we're not picking any one designation, so to speak. So that's just the thought pattern. We haven't done a resolution yet. It's still in the process of being discussed, so it's open for ideas. Yes.
Well, I think you get a group of people to sit down and put a policy together that will come back to you to approve or adjust accordingly.
Well,
That would be the right way to do it.
We'll get that when we get that resolution, because it's a more legal thing now. It's a prayer. So we want to make sure we don't. We'll see what Alexis comes up with, and another informational session, and we'll take it from there. Okay.
Not a problem.
Brings us to item C, ratify the decision from April 2nd, executive session to intervene in the appeal of the Meadowcrest Development Act 537 plan. We'll take action on that.
I move to ratify the decision from the April 2nd executive session to intervene in the appeal of the Meadowcrest Development Act 537 planning.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions or comments?
I have a question. May I reserve the right to please read the letter, the legal letter of the notice of appearance to the public, so that the public is informed as to the action that you're voting on?
Notice to the public, I'm not sure which letter you're talking
The docket that was filed before the Environmental Hearing Board, a motion to intervene and a notice of appearance.
about. Alexis, you
Yeah,
want-
I don't see a problem with that. I mean, so I can just kind of preface this by giving some background information for everybody's, I guess, kind of knowledge. This is a appeal that was taken with the Environmental Hearing Board through DEP action that was granted to Meadowcrest. So it's really between Meadowcrest and the DEP. But the township did some time back enact a resolution allowing for a modification to the township sewage planning module, which is something that you have to do anytime there's land development that is going to require sewage facilities. So for any sort of land development of any type of scale, it's kind of like just a normal of process type of thing that the township is required under the law to consider and pass the resolution. So we received a letter from the DEP a few weeks back basically asking us to intervene. And, you know, after talking with the township engineer, it seemed to be in the best interest of staying on the good side of the DEP to do what they were asking us to do. So that's kind of why we did it, you know, out of the request of the DEP. Initially, the township was not going to intervene because, you know, there's no skin in the game. But and like I said, stay on the good side of the DEP because they sent us a letter formally asking us to interview. And then, in addition, now we'll get the firsthand information as it's being filed in the lawsuit, so that the township stays on top of all of the proceedings as they take place. But if you wanted to read the
That's fine. Thank you for your explanation, and this is very insightful and helpful for us to understand your position in this. I do have one question specifically for you, Solicitor Wheeler. It says the Council for Intervenor, New Sewickley Township Zoning Hearing Board.
Oh, I think that was probably a typo.
Are you also the counsel for the
No.
Zoning Hearing Board?
No.
Okay, I was just seeking clarification as to whom all you represented.
Yeah, no,
Thank you.
frankly, I think my poor legal assistant made a little bit of a typo and I didn't
That's
catch
fine.
her.
That's fine.
So-
I did, and I was just curious.
Yeah, no, I do not represent the zoning hearing board.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. We need to vote. So we have a motion and a second on the table. Roll call.
Steve,
Yes.
Fritz,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Martin.
Yes. Item number D, unfunded state mandate on workers' compensation legislation. Discussion and action. The board decides to move forward with the recommendation. I read that, Mike, but you want to go ahead and...
Yeah, you know, what's happening now is that someone in the state somewhere has come up with this idea of unfunded mandates. And they go out and pass these bills, and they get all the accolades for doing it, but they have no money to back it up. So it all dumps down to us. We have to pay for it then. So, you know, somewhere along the line, they have to stop doing this. It isn't this particular bill that we're opposed to. It's the way that they're coming about it. They're going to pass it, say, hey, look what happened, what we did, and then, you know, it's going to come down to cost us, at the moment, untold thousands of dollars. And we just can't keep taking these. So, this is PSATs, and as far as I'm concerned, we should write them a letter. We should write two letters as far as I'm concerned. One, that we're opposed to this particular bill, not because of what it is, but because of the way it's written. Secondly, we are opposed to unfunded mandates, period. They just can't keep doing this. Sooner or later, we're just going to run out of money. So this is exactly how MS4 came about. They said, oh yeah, okay, here we'll give MS4, but there was no money for it, so they dumped it down, and it come to us to take care of, and we get all the flack about it, and they get all the accolades because they passed it. So it's whoever came up with it, it's a great system for them, but it sure as heck is not a good system for us.
I was looking into MS4, unfunded mandates. I believe I forget what year it started, but 3,400 or 3,500 unfunded federal mandates come down to the township level. It's like a constant barrage. In addition to this, on this proposal we're talking about here, workers' compensation legislation. They're talking about bankrupting insurance companies. Insurance companies are just going to shut down. They just won't offer insurance. So it's bad all the way around. So it's more than we need to send a letter. Everybody should send a letter. You know, it's just bad news. So hopefully our representatives take note of that. I think we should send a letter. So with that, we'll entertain a motion if somebody wants to make a motion. Well, I guess first of all, who would we have send a letter? I mean, Alexis, was that something you do? Or?
We'll take care of it.
We'll take care of it ourselves? Okay. Very good.
Hey, Mark,
Yes.
are we gonna write the letter to our senator and our local representatives? Is
Yes.
that who the folks who are writing these letters to?
That's who we're sending the letters to, because they're the ones that have to pass it or reject it.
Yeah, a
So, yes.
multitude of letters maybe that, you know, anybody in the area that we can, that's even close to us.
Is there anybody else that you were thinking about sending the letters to?
Not right offhand. Just our representatives.
Yeah, just the rest, okay, just Congress, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea to do that. And I'd like to do that more with other things. Engage them as best as we can, and encourage the public to engage our representatives as well. Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Okay.
Alexis, is it okay if I add on to this, it's like something about like having a second letter written opposing unfunded mandates in general? Can I add that on, or does that have to be some separate thing?
Well, so this says generally unfunded state mandate on workers' compensation legislation. So instead of specifically workers' compensation legislation, you want it to be in general regarding.
I want two of them. I want it against this one, and I want it against unfunded mandates in general. I'd like to have two letters go out.
Yeah, sure. You could make a motion to do that. Make a motion to amend the agenda to add a second motion for sending a letter in general against unfunded mandates, and then an actual vote on the motion. So it's two votes.
Then I would like to make a motion to amend the agenda to add on having a second letter written opposing unfunded mandates in general.
A motion, we need a second.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Steve?
Real quick, can we add PSAT into that?
Well, we're just adding the addendum right now.
Yeah, this is
Just
just
to
a
allow us to
motion
do
to amend
this.
the agenda.
We're amending the agenda right now.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Fritz?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes. Now we're entertaining the motions.
Okay, I'll make the motion. I move to send a letter to our legislators opposing House Bill 1632 as currently written and encouraging them to continue to work with the municipalities to find a real solution. The other ones, should I just add on to this one or make it a second?
Make it a second.
You can make it a whole different one.
Okay.
We need a second.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion?
I'd like to add PSAT.
Steve, I think PSATs was the one that asked the township to consider doing this.
It's true. That's where I read it. It was on PSAT.
Yeah.
So PSATs is already on the ball.
Gotcha.
They're one bringing it forward.
Understood. Yeah.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Anything further, Steve?
Nope, that's it.
Okay, roll call.
Steve?
Yes.
Fritz?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes. Got a second motion?
Yes, I do. I would also, I would like a second letter written opposing unfunded mandates in general.
Motion, we need a second.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? And you want that addressed to Our representatives.
representatives, legislators, anybody that has any impact.
Roll call.
Steve,
Yes.
Fritz, Mike,
Yes.
Mark.
Yes. All right, public safety. Police have a busy month. You guys should have got your police report. What comes to mind, Chief, is a resource officer down at Freedom got a big award, actually 2 awards.
He did. He received an award from the during the Law Day event, and then the Beaver County Commissioners issued a proclamation on his behalf for his actions of saving a child at the school.
Saved the life of that 8 years old, I believe.
Yes.
Little girl in the lunchroom. So that was big. I guess I'm back on my school bus thing that I've been talking about.
Good, man.
I mean, it's unbelievable that there was 3 today that passed a school bus, and our officers caught 1. 3 today on 68. And the mothers are just going crazy. So what we're trying to do, or what they're talking about doing, is what can we do? They go to court, you take them to court, they lose their license for 30 days. I mean, we can't arrest them on the spot, which we should be doing, and impounding their cars or whatever. We can't do all that. We just have to follow the law. So the mothers are thinking about putting signs. They're going to make these big signs, which I don't know what else to do. Make them as big as a school bus, and put them for sale, and everybody can buy one and put one out. I'm not sure how we're going to go about that, but I think we're going to talk with Greg. Did she call you today, Greg?
I have not.
You were busy all day.
Yeah.
I think it's just
It's in the works.
In the works.
I'm looking at some other research of what some other states have done to address the issue. It's not a Sewickley issue, it's a national
It's
issue.
a national thing. People ain't paying attention, and it's just, I mean, these are our kids. And they're running down. A friend of mine stopped a guy, he'll go to court. I mean, these are our family, these are our friends, these are our future, We can't have this. And it just can't seem to stop. We got 2 cars out, all the time, following these buses on the major problem routes, and we can't get it. I don't know what people are doing.
I saw in a Conway this morning, the bus pulled diagonal across the street, blocked both lanes.
I wondered about that, if they're not allowed to do that.
He did it this morning in economy.
Greg's looking at, the chief's looking at cameras. We have to go through the bus company to even get that, at grants to do that, I mean, it's not a small undertaking, but it doesn't help the immediate. The immediate effect right now is, we don't want one little kid to get hurt. So we got another month to go for school. It's sad to look at it that way.
I'd like to see us, and I'd give money for it, if Mr. Howell, with the magistrate, put a big sign on the street. We want you to know, you pass the school bus, you're gonna lose your license, you're gonna be fined, and you may never drive again, and you will be cited for a child's death. Put it somewhere where people can see it, and everybody goes past it. Or one person gets arrested, and they give them the maximum penalty, the word will get out.
There's a sign on 68 that Greg did put up.
The sign on 68, there's also one on Pine River.
Yeah, there's 2
And there's
signs.
one on,
Kind of say what you're saying.
there's one on
Is it working?
Well, the sign to read, but you drive past it, so you don't have a chance to
You
read
don't see it.
You don't have a chance
But you
to
put
read
a
it.
billboard up. Put it down the shopping center. You pass the school bus, buddy, you're gonna pay.
It's been on the news. There's kids hurt on it. I mean, I don't get what is going on. There's something
in the water.
Something in the water. I don't know. It's bad. So anyway, thank your officers again for what they're doing. And I know they're trying. I know everybody sees it. And thank them for what they do. See if we can get something more strict. I don't know what else to say. Right up.
The church on the corner of 68 and Big Dog.
68 and
I
yeah.
can't remember their name.
Presbyterian.
They have a sign there, it's an electronic sign. You could give them some money to put
That's a good thought. There's one,
Constant.
Burry's Church has the same thing.
constant rolling message, the same message.
Maybe, the tractor place out here, he has an electronic sign.
Yeah,
That's a
okay.
good thought. A Legion down on 68, now we could get just a rotating, it's a good thought.
Yeah. I know the church was asking us for money years ago to help them pay for that sign, but, to put a message out on behalf of the township, maybe we could give them money if they want it.
We'll reach out to, I know he's one. Okay, move on. Item number B, police K-9 purchase agreement. Take action. Want to describe that a little bit for us, Greg?
Yeah, K-9 Benny is retiring, as is Officer Haverjack, and currently the township owns the K-9. Since he's retiring, there is an agreement to be in place to sell the K-9 to Officer Haverjack for $1.
I understand he's already had his last day.
He has.
Very good.
He's not gonna shoot him, is he?
Have you met Keith and Benny?
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
Just a little levity there.
All right, we need to approve the purchase agreement.
I move that we accept the K-9 purchase agreement for Officer Benny.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any additional discussion, comment? Roll call.
Steve,
Yes.
Fritz,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Martin.
Yes. Item number C, police, approve Jeremy Brown for the Beaver County Emergency Services Unit. Take action on that.
I move to approve Jeremy Brown for the Beaver County Emergency Services Unit.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Any additional comment? Roll call.
Steve,
Yes.
Fritz,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Martin.
Yes. Item number D, police, approval to sell the following police cars. 2016 Ford Explorer, the 2017 Dodge Charger, the 2018 Dodge Durango, and the 2019 Dodge Charger. Take action on those.
Hey guys, the fire companies have asked that we, I think, donate the Dodge Durango. You guys want to, say we're going to use them for and so on?
I think the process came up
I'm sorry.
I think it was through the process of the police offering one to the fire departments if we would choose to accept one.
Oh.
So if
I mean, you don't want one, or you do want one?
yes and no. We have to discuss it with the body of the membership. Go ahead.
It is something that we can use, but we have to, there's going to be a cost that's incurred for us that we're just going to have to take a look at, that's all. But we would absolutely take one if it was presented to us. And we would use it as more than likely a quick response vehicle for medical or an incident command vehicle. So it won't be one of those two.
Tim, what's your thoughts?
I agree.
Well,
Wouldn't the Explorer be better for you because it has a bigger carrying capacity?
I think the Durango actually has more cargo space.
Yeah, the Durango's a larger vehicle, and it's also better conditioned than the Explorer.
So I'm getting this fit.
I would think give them their choice, whichever one they want.
If they want the Explorer, how about it?
It sounds like the Durango would be the preferred choice.
Right. We'd love to have one. We just have to definitely sit and have a lot of meetings to discuss on exact use and that type of stuff. So.
That's an internal thing on our end.
Yep. So if it's available, yes.
Okay. Then we understand. You definitely want one, so.
Okay. And then if not, they're going to be sold on municipal bid.
Correct.
So you need to give us an answer soon so we can determine which of the two.
I'll tell you right now, I'll
You
give you an
want
answer.
the Durango.
Yeah, I'll give you an
It's a
answer now.
given. You want it.
Yeah.
Okay.
What I would need is a motion to donate the vehicle, the Dodge Durango, to the fire department. That's one motion.
I'll make that motion. That we donate the Dodge Durango 2019 Charger. No, just the Durango. Just the Durango.
Actually, guys, you're gonna add that motion. The motion to sell the cars. So
I'll
we're
put it in all one
gonna,
motion.
yeah, we're gonna sell the cars.
Okay.
We're gonna add the motion, add to it. We're gonna donate the Dodge Durango to the fire department.
Okay, I make a motion to approve the sale of the following police cars: the 216 Explorer, the 217 Dodge Charger, the 219 Dodge Charger, and give the 218 Dodge Durango to the fire department. Is that correct?
That's correct. With one annotation, when that truck is sold, it comes back to the township.
Correct. That's
Okay,
our
so make sure you're
understanding.
aware of that.
Yes.
And if it's sold, it comes back to the township.
Right.
Yes.
That's
Okay.
my motion.
I'll second it.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Steve?
No.
Fritz?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes. Item number E, police approval to amend ordinance number 153 for one-way times on the property of Freedom Area School District. And we'll take action on that. Greg, you want to explain that?
Yeah, the ordinance, the way it is currently written, has specific times for when the streets in front of the school are one way for when the students arrive and are dismissed. The school district has changed their beginning and end time of the day, which no longer matches the ordinance. And there have been a few issues in front of the schools. So my request would be to have the ordinance worded so that it doesn't list a specific time, but it goes based off of the start time and end time of the school day. To avoid this in the future, if the school would decide to move their hours again, we don't have to go through the process of amending an ordinance. It just
Every time they change the
Correct.
times. Have you looked at that yet, Alexis?
I haven't looked at that one yet, but if I could suggest, it might be also beneficial to amend the ordinance to include that, like, times can be changed by resolution, so that there doesn't have to be advertisement to amend an ordinance, if the school times change. That's what I would recommend, but I don't think I've seen the ordinance, or the ordinance amendment, but I'm sure if it's just something that happens as a matter of course, that it's fine.
Should we just do the resolution now instead of doing
the ordinance currently specifically lists times, so you're probably gonna have to reword it.
It would be in the future, so it would be in the future to amend it to have that resolution, just so that you guys don't have to have this action item on your agenda every time they change times for school. So was that advertised and everything, the ordinance?
No, the version is not, it's not. No. So I
Okay.
guess we're just asking for permission to
Advertise.
advertise an amended version.
Yeah, and then I can amend it to include the resolution language so that you don't have to do it again. So this will be just a motion to advertise for that ordinance.
motion to approve the process of amending the ordinance?
I move to approve the process of amending ordinance number 153.
Second.
Motion is second. Any additional discussion? Comments? Roll call.
Steve?
Yes.
Fritz?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes. All right, the big one. Item number F. Still under police, approve the annual tractor parade on June 7th, 2024. Take action on that.
I move.
To approve the annual tractor parade on June 7th.
Second.
Motion is second. Any additional comments or discussion? Roll call.
Steve?
Yes.
Fritz?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes. Still under police, item number G. Rochester Borough requested police assistance with Beaver County Boom and Rochester Monaca Bridge construction project. Can you elaborate on that, Chief?
Yeah, Rochester Borough Police contacted us and said they may or may not need manpower, but they're trying to plan ahead, instead of it being a last minute thing. So we have an agreement, proposed agreement, that the solicitor is going to look over, and we're going to send to Rochester, where they would reimburse the township for all of our man hours. It wouldn't cost the taxpayers here anything. There's also some wording in there under the construction to reimburse for the use of a police car.
On a voluntary basis, not.
Correct. It's a voluntary basis on our officers' end. If we're not able to staff it for them, if we're not able to provide the number of officers, if they ask for 3 and we can only provide 2, then it is what it is.
If they call for an emergency, you're going anyway, right?
Correct. If it's an emergency situation, this is a little bit different. This is kind of a pre-planned.
Okay, we just have that under info. We don't need to have any action on that.
I defer to the solicitor.
No, no action.
No action. Next item H, fire departments, monthly reports have been submitted. Any comments from
So we
fire district?
That's still in the process, right?
Almost.
Yeah, that's in the Attorney General and Auditor General's hands right now, so we're in a holding pattern until they get that approved. That being said, we are having a training next Monday, Thursday, and then the following Monday, Wednesday, out here on Miller Road for that we have an acquired structure that we're going to be doing live fire trainings in. I actually invite you guys. You want to come down and see what's going on, see how we work. You're more than welcome to come down.
Who's that?
So, next Monday and next Wednesday.
Thursday.
Or Thursday. So 13th and 16th, and the 20th and 22nd. And we're planning on starting at 6 o'clock. So
What is it? What do you do?
we have an acquired structure that we're going to be setting on fire and going inside and putting it out. So
Really?
yeah. So
What's the address on Miller Road?
140,
Where all the fire trucks will be.
Very good. Anything further?
No.
You guys were busy with brush fires and
Yeah, we
normal calls.
5 of those. We had some decent structure fires in this past month.
Everybody safe?
Yeah, and no injuries to report, so it was good. Yeah. Our biggest call volume is the medical response.
I saw that.
Yeah, and that's a standard thing across the board.
That's huge.
Yeah, it's
The Explorer could help that. Or that Durango, I'm sorry. Okay, yeah, I see that. Very good, guys. Thanks for all your excellent work.
Just want to mention, this coming Saturday, our auxiliary is hosting the annual Purse and Pistol Bash. That will be at the Big Knob Station out back where the big tent is. Our ticket's still available, so anybody interested in coming along for that, that will be happening this Saturday. Other than that, we are on the finishing touches for our addition, so within the next couple of weeks, we will be moving in.
It's very nice.
It's coming along
Building
nicely.
over there.
Can I just comment on the addition?
Sure.
So I know I shared with you guys, but on election day, there was a lot of people that were coming through, and there was so much positive feedback from the community, both on the work that both departments are doing and the updates that are coming in the building. They were very, very, very positive and open in sharing that.
We're very fortunate to have a dedicated
Yeah.
staff over there. We really,
Yeah.
guys
So
are exceptional.
wanted to share that. It was all positive.
And it'll be way easier to host elections next time around because there's a lot more space to do it.
To elect the supervisor.
All right. Anything further, guys?
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for all you do. Road Department, monthly report, information. RJ, you want to fill us in?
We've been milling at Danbury. We're done with that today, and we will start Tri-County and Commerce tomorrow with base repair also starting probably tomorrow or Thursday. And then weather pending, paving will be following. So
You said you did some testing over there. Is there any need for our engineers to go take a look?
no, I'm pretty much an engineer. No, We proofread everything, and everything worked out really well. Kevin actually showed us what we needed to proofread, and Youngblood was aware of it. Todd and his guys are all on board. We did exactly what he told us, and it seems to be working well.
End up milling an entrance anyway.
Yeah.
You aware of that?
RJ, when are they going to pave Danbury? Do you
We're
have
going to do, hopefully, depending on how much base repair we have to do at Tri-County and Commerce, we're going to do base repair tomorrow and Thursday, and then weather pending.
Okay, so I can let people know that it won't definitely be tomorrow or Thursday.
There may be base repair tomorrow,
Okay.
but it's all depending.
But no paving.
No. I mean, the base repair is paving the spots, like we'll dig it out and then pave it, so it's just small spots.
Okay.
And then,
I'm trying to navigate, because if I understand correctly, one lane will be paved at one time, and then people cannot drive on that.
yeah, there'll be plenty of people. I think that they won't have a problem.
Okay, because I'm trying to figure out how they get in their driveways, parking on the grass, parking.
I think it'll be fine. I think
Okay.
it'll.
They're very positive about it. So the roofer, not so much, but he's okay.
That's a busy housing complex.
Yes, it has been.
All right, any further, RJ?
That's it.
All right, keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Guys, thanks. Engineering, monthly report.
Nothing additional than what we had submitted in the monthly report on the grant and the resolution that was added earlier in the agenda. So the township's been looking for a grant to help fund a township-wide Act 537 study. It's been decades, 70s, something like that, was when the Act 537 was done by the county. And it's been long overdue to be updated. It's one of the things that over the years the township talks quite a bit about. One of the problems with the 537 plans is, as mentioned earlier, it's an unfunded mandate in the state. There's a revolving fund to fund 50% of 537 plans, but it very rarely has any money in it from the state budget. But recently, under these CFA grant fund, they added a section for Act 537 grants. So this one is called the Crow's Run 537 plan. So it's on the, you go up to Big Knob, it's going towards the Ohio River, and it would be Crow's Run, which runs across the bottom of the township. We have a couple connections there today with other treatment plants, 3 along that watershed. So the 537 plan we look at is in order to service that half of the township and those sewer sheds. So it would be Crow's Run, Snake Run, and Pine Run, that all come down to Crow's Run. So we take a look and say, okay, how can those areas be serviced? How is it serviced today with sewage, which is majority of it's on lot? And then is there need for sewage in those areas? And if you look at those watersheds, probably about close to half of the township population is in those areas. It's where a lot of your little centralized areas are. So over the next 20, we plan for a 20-year in the future planning cycle. You're going to get more and more issues in those areas. You're going to have people want to sell their properties, and if you don't have public sewage and they fail to test for on-lot sewage, then it's either very costly for them to do upgrades, or they have public sewage. Their home values, their land values are maintained. So it's one of those things that the department, DEP, that the board talked about earlier, for many, many decades, 50, 60 years, that goes to the township in order to do the 537 plan updates. I think if there is an authority, which township does have, you work hand in hand with the authority and make sure that it's a plan that works both for the authority and the township. But the township's actually the one that has to approve it in the end. So this is a 50-50 grant. So it has a maximum amount of 100,000 for the 537 plan update. That's about what it costs typically. So I split it in half and said 47.5, and that would be sufficient from the grant plus 47.5 from the township to do a 537 plan update. They take a couple years to go through and do. You would also look at the Brush Creek side of the watershed, the stuff that is in the high quality. But the turnpike kind of splits off right after that. So I kind of look at the township. You have the turnpike. You would look at Crow's Run and potentially those little sub sheds that go down to the turnpike. You put lift stations in and pump up to Crow's Run, because you're going to get much more favorable limits if you go to Ohio versus going to Brush Creek. As far as sewage limits, and the existing plants have better limits on that side. Some of them have capacity, so you may increase what the township would send to those. And you look at where interceptors would go, things like that. And then you come up with the total cost, and then you look and see what rates would be for those areas. Again, it's a very iterative process. You have to look at all alternatives. Over the years, the township has looked at Cranberry, the service pieces of the township. They responded every time, no, they're not interested in taking the township in. So this is the process to go through. And this is just step one for the township to update a document that's over 50 years old. And take a look and see where you do have sewage needs and what the cost of those would be. So you would find out probably till either very late this year or early next year if this grant came through. But this is an opportunity to get some funding for it. So we did prepare the resolution. If the resolution is approved, we have a grant we have to put together as part of it, and all the normal boilerplate language about what it is, what area we're going to look at the service and stuff. So, any questions?
This is preliminary stages.
This is step one.
Step one.
1,000.
This is to Laura's comment that, decisions are being made in other meetings. There's no decisions being made, only discussion. Only discussion. So we're trying to look forward to see what the potential is going to, the need of the township's going to be, because of our comprehensive plan is we have over 50% of the people desiring services from the township. We have nothing in place. We're going to run a water line, which is going to create demand. Just naturally, if anybody's familiar with what happened in the economy. And North Sewickley also has, sewer run through most of it. And last several years, we've had a total of 3 new construction. There's no new construction going on in the township because we have no facilities, and perk tests are harder to get. Most people don't know, so we don't want to get up in the weeds and all that explanation. But the point is, these are only preliminary. This is a study that we can maybe get a grant for, so the township's not paying for it, to try to help facilitate the information that we need to the need that is going to be staring us in the face here. All these old systems are failing. And the DEP will come down with a hammer at some point and say, you have to do this. So they've done it in other places. So we're just trying to look ahead a little bit. And with the help of our planning commission, the board of supervisors, and our municipal board, we're trying to put our heads together with everybody that is in a position to help make the right decisions, and our solicitor and our engineers. And our staff too, because everybody, and actually the residents, because the residents weighed in on this. So we need to look a little further ahead, and that's all we're doing is looking. Nobody's mandating anything. So this resolution is just going to try to help save some costs.
Financial question.
Hey, Martin, I agree with what you're saying there. We need to start looking ahead and understanding everything. And the first I heard about this study was on Monday, and so I'd like to further understand, the scope, objective, terms, conditions, assumptions, exclusions. Maybe see an example of one that was done before. but, you know, to make sure that we know what we're getting ourselves into.
I agree with all that, Steve.
This grant, it's available every year. It's been available since 2022.
Rich, did you have something?
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out the money. So we would have to set aside some money in our reserve.
No, this doesn't affect our budget until 2025. So next budget is where we'd be starting to talk about $50,000 or $47,000 in matching, the way I understand it.
Yeah, and you would actually just, based on the timing of how long it takes for the 537 plan, you'd probably be looking at half in 25 and half in 26. Because it takes that amount of time just to go through the process. And some of these things take months just to get through the data.
We're not mandated.
So we're not
rushing.
actually spending the money unless we get the grant.
Correct.
So it's kind of like a win-win if we don't.
Yeah,
If we
you're not
get
gonna-
it, then we haven't spent the money, right?
Right. Yeah, and the items that are, to answer Steve's question, is required in an Act 537, they're prescriptive from the department. And I can get that out to the board, if you get the grant or before you get the grant. To look at, there's, they give you every item that has to be in it. They're the same throughout the state. So it's just prescriptive that you gotta do A, then you gotta do B, then you gotta do C. You
And
gotta
if
write a
the board
section.
would change, the next board, which it will change, could turn it down and say, no, we don't want to do that. Right?
You could prepare the
So
whole
it's not-
537 plan, and the board at that time could not pass the resolution to adopt it. Just because you prepare it doesn't mean you have to.
You have to accept it.
It's a document to give you the tools to make that decision.
It's just information. But it's a big process, and it's not done right, it can be nasty.
Yes.
So we've got to be careful with that 537 plan. It's how it affects the residents of New Sewickley Township, so we've got to be very, very careful with that. Good thing is this engineering firm has done North Sewickley. So, I'm not sure other ones, you can comment on that.
Yeah, we've done many over the years.
Many.
A lot of rural communities.
So we're not just going and, taking a stab at this, we have some track record here. And we can do it in stages, it doesn't have to be done at once. It's not like we're just gonna dump some facility in New Sewickley Township. We're gonna try to see what's the best way forward and make a plan and try to keep everybody as informed as we can, but we can't make decisions if we can't meet and discuss. So that's what our non-quorum boards meeting, or just meeting and discussing and seeing if we can have a direction. If that makes sense. Otherwise, nothing happens. So, anyway, that's where we're at with that. So,
Yeah. In my opinion, we need to get this thing started. If you don't start, you'll never get moving on it. So to put it off another year or two, I think we just this may never be started. So I move to apply for a CFA grant to fund 50% of an Act 537 study.
I'll second. What does CFA stand for?
Commonwealth Financing Authority. It's where probably half the grants come through the state.
I second.
Okay, motion and a second. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Steve,
No.
Chris,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Martin.
Yes. Okay, item number 10, solicitor.
Sure, I don't have anything additional to add. I was just going to mention the progress on the DMS item. I just got that email today at like 5 o'clock that they were going to put in the mufflers on the vacuum system. So, that was a bit of good news I wanted to share, but I don't have anything else.
Let's start question. There was an amendment made to the agenda at the beginning of the meeting for item 9B. Can you please restate that?
Sure. So the amendment was actually, I wouldn't even really consider it an amendment. There was some conversation about whether it needed to take place. It was just that this item 9B needs a resolution to be attached to the application. Is that correct, Kevin?
Yes.
So it was just to clarify the fact that this item 9B was in the form of a resolution, that it wasn't just like an action item, that there was a document that's gonna be signed, that's gonna, and it just says, these people have authority to execute the grant application when it's prepared.
I would just like to state that there's a perceived violation of the Sunshine Act. There are civil and criminal penalties for violating the Sunshine Act, and the law must be enforced by the public. As I stated in my comments, the hall passes have been expired. That being said, section 712.1 of the Act pertains to published agendas being amended after the 24-hour posting period in certain limited instances. Emergency business to respond to a clear and present danger to life or property. De minimis business arising in the last 24 hours that does not involve the expenditure or funds or entering into a contract.
Yeah, that's the exception that this falls under.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
All right, item number 11, planning, recreation, and zoning. Planning, any information?
Nothing new.
Join your rest. All right, rec board. What's going on at the rec board? Anybody here?
Flea market's on Saturday from 8 to 1. And then movie night on the 17th is Barbie. Movie starts at dark. We have to wait till dark or you can't see the screen. Lots of people ask.
9 o'clock.
Yeah, lots of people have been asking about start time and everything. It's dark. That's our start time. When you can see it on the screen.
All right, item number C, recreation. Wait, on this one, monthly report submitted. I guess that's your monthly report. Item number C, recreation. Approve the purchase of a 2024 Kubota RTU250-H for $12,692.99. Take action on that. There's a little further discussion. Ron, you want to elaborate a little bit on that?
Yes, after the agenda meeting, Supervisor Spade wanted me to look into a purchase of a 2024 Polaris Ranger Crew Cab, which is a 4-door one, not a 2-door one as the Kubota. With the windshield, the roof, and the winch, the price of that vehicle is $15,654.96. We only have one quote on that. I didn't know where the board wanted to go. Do you want more quotes on the Ranger, the 4-door model, or would they rather just deal with the Kubota, which is a 2-door, with all the same options for $12,000?
We did have 3 bids on that Kubota.
Correct, yes.
You guys have to move any comments?
Mike, I don't know, what did you guys thought of it?
We just found out about this today, so we didn't really have thoughts on it. I said we just found out about that today, so we didn't really have too many thoughts on it. I was under the impression that it was the 4-door was a Kubota. I didn't realize it was a Polaris.
Well, I did get a price for a 4-door from Kubota also, but I was told right away it was too much money. So I pretty much just went with the, try to keep the cost down, and that's where I come up with this.
Do you remember what the price was for the 4-door?
Kubota,
Roughly?
$22,000.
20, okay.
If you go up to the 4-door, it goes to a diesel. I looked into that.
Oh.
Yeah, it was over 20,000. I remember that.
So you guys are happy with this one here?
I had suggested the Polaris because it was stripped down. It didn't have the windshield and some of the other features. And it was pretty comparable to the Kubota.
It's $12,999 if you have no options. Just 4-door. No windshield, no roof, no winch.
For the Kubota. The Polaris has all the extras.
The Kubota has all of it. The roof, the windshield, the winch, for $12,692.99. It's a 2-passenger, not a 4-passenger. The 4-passenger Polaris with nothing on it is $12,999. If you put the winch, the windshield, and the roof on it, it's $15,654.96.
What's the length on that Polaris? 'Cause that's an issue too.
They're long.
Pretty big.
It's long.
They're long.
Yeah, where are you gonna put it?
Yeah, Mike and I cleaned up that garage to make room for 2 vehicles, but we didn't think about, 4 or 5 more feet.
And mine's like 13 foot long.
Yeah.
4 doors.
Is that what you heard already?
It's a challenge. Very similar to Ranger.
I'll make that motion.
Let's just make the motion.
I move to approve the purchase of a 2024 Kubota RTU2 50-H for $12,692.99.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Any additional discussion?
And that's from Sourcewell.
Pardon me?
It's from Sourcewell, that's
From
where it's
Sourcewell.
money.
All right, roll call.
Steve,
Yes.
Fritz,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Martin.
Yes. Zoning building monthly reports. Discuss, you got a copy of that. Anything in there we should be aware of, Ron? Zoning?
No, Dollar General has been awarded their building permit, so they're moving forward with the actual construction.
And the water, we'll see tonight, and then the water issues. It looks like they should have all that corrected. To maintain, that's a huge pond they put in that corner. After that,
The lot looks very good.
that was a big change over there, isn't it? Big change.
They did a good job on it.
Real quick.
It's hopefully the engineer will agree to it.
Oh, you'll make them fix it. Right? Okay. More comments? Anybody have any comments?
Yeah. I was sitting here thinking about the workman's comp unfunded mandate, and I was thinking, I would rather see us go down the road for the fire department, that after so many hours of service, they would, whatever the fire department, we would agree to, might get a tax rebate, a local tax rebate. I think that's a better way to go. I don't know you feel, but I think we need to do something to help our state fund. Also, everybody in my plan's telling me that Crow's Run is open at the end of the month. Is anybody, do we have any definitive answer?
Restaurant will not be opening at the end of the month, projected is September or October.
Where does this come from?
It has.
Where does this?
Rumors.
Pardon me?
That's called a rumor.
Me and Ron wrote down.
Everybody's.
There's a lot of work to do yet. A ton of work to do.
So that's official, I can tell them.
It's
the
not
rumor
opening,
mill's
it's
wrong.
not opening in a month. They got a lot of work.
Thank you.
All the work.
I don't know how they're gonna make September, so.
It's actually amazing how much work is taking place. Anybody hasn't had, you're not supposed to drive down through there, but we took a ride. just to
People
take
go
it.
through it all the time, after work.
Well, they're getting arrested, they're not arrested, but they're getting tickets when they're too close.
Just beware the police are enforcing.
They're enforcing it.
Oh, really?
Yes. Heavily. Almost as heavy as school buses.
No, no school bus. Those violators. I appreciate your efforts.
I have one piece of information for the board. Friday, May 17th at 10 a.m. will be the police memorial in front of the Beaver County Courthouse. Immediately following that will be an award ceremony. Officer Pullen will be receiving an award from the Women's Center and the Stop Violence program for his work on sexual assault cases. So, board and public are more than welcome to attend that.
Give more awards, keeping up the good work.
What time did you say that was?
Starts at 10 a.m.
Yeah. Very nice.
Anything further, Steve? Board? Motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye.
Is that? I know.
Yeah, man, it's